Hey guys, welcome back to a plot of confusion. The world is the plot, and everything that's going on in the world is confusion. Welcome as I sit here in the dark, listening to some of the strangest and interesting TikToks that we have. Today, we will be looking at the subject of CERN, what people's opinions are about CERN. I am here as your host, and everything that you're seeing is speculative. It's hearsay. It's not necessarily real, or is it? Let your own mind be the one to judge. Now, I do share scripture as we get into this because I believe the Bible gives us things to know and that the Bible shares things with us. I think you'll find this interesting. In the book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 12, you have Jacob is sitting there. He says right here, as he slept, he dreamed of a stairway that reached from the earth up to heaven. And he saw the angels of God going up and down the stairway. At the top of the stairway stood the Lord, Yahweh. He said, I am the Lord, Yahweh, the God of your grandfather Abraham, and the God of your father Isaac. So, right here in the Bible, it talks about stairway. The Bible is full of stairways. But the thing that's happened at CERN makes me concerned that maybe the one stairway they are trying to open, and this is all speculative, this is all for fun and entertainment purposes only, but it does tickle the interest of my ears whenever you have an event that takes place. Let's see if I can find that scripture. Another scripture that will be is coming from the book of Revelation, where we have this event that says the fifth angel blew his trumpet, and I saw a star that had fallen through the earth from the sky, and he was given the key of the shaft of the bottomless pit. And when he opened it, smoke poured out as though a huge furnace, and sunlight and air turned dark from the smoke. The locusts came out of the smoke and descended on the earth, and they were given power to sting like scorpions. And they were told not to harm the grass or plants or trees, but only the people who did not have the seal of God on their forehead. And they were told not to kill, but to torment for 5 months with the pain like the pain of a scorpion sting. So those days people will seek beyond the love, but they will not find it. And the locusts looked like horses prepared for battle. They had what looked like gold crowns on their heads, and their faces looked like human faces, and their hair like a woman's hair, and teeth like the teeth of a lion. And they wore armor made of iron, and their wings roared like armies of chariots rushing into battle. And they had tails that stung like scorpions. And their king is an angel from the bottomless pit. His name in Hebrew is Abaddon, and the Greek Apollyon, the destroyer. The first terror has passed, but look, two more are coming. So let's see what people say about CERN. And could it be, possibly, the Bible gives us hints? Just saying. Let's take a listen to this.
didn't know what CERN was when I posted that video yesterday, but since everybody wants to talk about it, I'm going to try to explain it. And yes, it's going to involve conspiracy theories, but I mean, we saw the president basically standing with Nordic aliens, so are we going to be surprised that I'm going to talk about this? So CERN is the biggest manufactured human built machine that basically is like underground, and it is ginormous, and it runs in this big circle, and basically they have two tubes inside of it and put atoms that go like this, right? And then they push them at the speed of light so they crash in together and then blow up and then look into it. Okay, that's basically like the main basic version of what this is. It's underground in Geneva, Switzerland. It's like, oh, I think it's like 200 kilometers underground. I don't know, something like that. And it is ginormous. It is the biggest man made machine ever. Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about, like the specifics of it. Now I'm going to talk about the conspiracies of it. So basically, what I believe, and a lot of people believe, but apparently some people on the internet don't know how to use Google or do any sort of research on their own, is that every time that CERN shuts down, we are jumping timelines. Okay, so like when CERN is essentially messing with space and time, and they're opening these little, they call them microscopic black holes that can be safely closed. But essentially what it's doing, and what we all think it's doing, is it's opening up portals to jump between space and time. And when it shuts down, we essentially are jumping into timelines. So like 2008 is when it got made, 2012, et cetera, et cetera. 2020, obviously we know what happened then. So basically, what, it's not that I thought something was going to happen yesterday. Okay, CERN is going to be shut down for 4 years until 2030. And if you don't know about 2030, then I can't help you. You need to go look on the internet. But it's not going to be good when it turns back on in 2030.
So what do we have here? What is this? What is CERN? CERN is known as the Hadron Collider. It's one of the biggest machines ever. And CERN and the one in Switzerland is not the only one. There are little CERNs in Israel and in the United States and other countries. Smaller ones, but doing the same thing. Interesting, though. Interesting. Could CERN be opening up portals? Could this have ties to the Mandela effect? I want to know more. Let's hear what she has to say.
It's not necessarily that I thought something was going to happen yesterday. It's really the thought process of like what's going to come over the next 4 years and like what that timeline looks like. That's why a lot of us believe the cornucopia, the fruit of the loom, the Fruit Loop spelling different, the monocle with monopoly, etc., etc., Mandela effects. Like, we get the gist. So essentially, we have jump timelines at least a few times. And I would say, like, specifically, we noticed more in 2012 and 2020. CERN was shut down from 2018 to 2022. And this will be the biggest shutdown, and they are building a bigger one. And what is to come when that turns on depends on what you believe. But I know what I believe, and if you don't know what's happening.
The other thing is that the one that she's talking about, I found out they're building one in China. And I believe China is supposed to be the biggest man made thing by 2030. Interesting. I have to know more. Let's see what other people are saying about this topic. Wow, we even more people talking about CERN. Let's hear what he has to say. Are you curious? I am. Let's take a listen.
They turned the CERN particle collider off for maintenance, apparently for 4 years. And people are reporting that they can actually sleep at night now, that they don't have headaches, and that time is going slower, as opposed to before they turned this thing off. People were saying time was going very fast, which I would breaking.
Time was going fast? Don't you sometimes feel that way? Like, I mean, I do lately. I feel like 1 second we were celebrating January, the new year. And now we're getting ready to celebrate the 250th anniversary of America. Strange, isn't it? We're already in 7 months. Has gone by like a blink of an eye. Let's see what else he has. I'm curious. Aren't you?
Just to prove something weird is going on, here is me searching for Chick-fil-A in my messages to my friend, talking about this Chick-fil-A skateboard I saw, and the actual image or video is gone. Want to know something else? Home Depot is now the Home Depot again, after previously being Home Depot and the Home Depot before that. Just to prove something
That's
weird
interesting.
is CHIC, and that it's weird because you would think it would be pronounced Chic-fil-A. I have had arguments about this over and over again with people that I think that it is CHICK, and they would tell me, no, it's always been CHIC. Well, now it's back to CHICK, and just so happens they turned the CERN collider off again. It's CH. I think we skipped timelines again. I just made a video about the CERN collider being shut off. And now the Chick-fil-A logo is back to CHICK. I had multiple conversations with friends over the past few months and years saying that it. I think we skipped.
You're telling me that Chick-fil-A is involved? What? The spelling of words have changed, it's saying. I'm telling you, man, this gets deep. Down the rabbit hole. Huh. Let me know in the comments down below if you experienced this thing they're calling the Mandela effect. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please share them with me in the comments below. People are really concerned about CERN. Let's listen to what this young lady has to say. Apparently, she says she's talked about it 2 years ago. Let's see.
Off CERN. If you don't know what CERN is, I did videos about this a few years ago. And in said videos, I clearly said they was going to shut it off soon. Not even 2 years later. Oh, shutting it off. And if you don't know what CERN is, I need you to keep scrolling. This is not a conspiracy. This is not a fear-mongering video. No, keep scrolling. But I'm going to tell you this one thing, and I'm going to leave it right here. If you miss the wave of being millionaires a few years back during the pandemic, it's your time to shine now. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. And that's all I'm going to say. They are turning.
She's trying to tell us something, but I don't think she told us anything other than CERN is shutting down. Let's find out. Is there anyone else that's concerned about this? Let's find out.
So CERN is set to close down on June 29th, 2026. Okay.
Again.
It'll be shut down for 4 years until June of 2030. So that's fun, you know, especially given that they're building a new one, which is like 10 times the size of the current one, something like that.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Where?
In I'll show you. We'll pull it up in a second. So the last time it shut down was between 2018 and 2022.
That was a fun time for us all, wasn't it?
Listen, I didn't think that there was any like unrest around the world at all, right? There is zero doubt that between now and 2030, the entire world will be radically changed. That's for absolute sure.
I have goosebumps.
And this is all happening as AI emerges as this thing that is going to literally completely change the whole world. You got to ask yourself, doesn't it feel like that all kind of came out of nowhere? You know what I mean? You're like, I mean, I know they've been talking about AI, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It
just like popped up one day and it's like, oh, ChatGPT's here.
And
here you go.
So CERN is set to close down on June 20th.
So everyone is concerned about this. And could AI be attached to it? I don't know. Let's go down the rabbit hole a little deeper. See what else we find. A lot of people are worried about this, guys. A lot of people are worried about CERN. So let's just keep looking. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Let's see what he has to say. I'm still curious. I hope you are too. Let's see.
Today, June 29th, 2026, CERN shuts down. And every time this machine powers up or goes down, something strange seems to happen. The Large Hadron Collider goes into a long shutdown while CERN is saying that they're shutting this down for upgrades. And this isn't a weekend maintenance break. This thing is going offline for years. They're expecting this thing to be back in 2030. Mind you, they're shutting this thing down today on the same day as a strawberry full moon. Big coincidence, right? You got to remember the first time CERN fired up the Large Hadron Collider in 2008, that same year Wall Street collapsed. The financial system almost broke. And some people say the world got hit with the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Then CERN entered its first major shutdown around 2013. Right around that window, a massive meteor exploded over Russia, one of the most powerful airbursts in modern history. You had windows shattered. People got injured. The sky literally lit up like something in a movie. Then CERN went into a long shutdown from 2018 to 2022. And during that stretch, the world completely changed. You had the pandemic. You had lockdowns. You had supply chain chaos, economic meltdown, political unrest, a version of the earth that honestly never felt normal again. And now we fast forward. CERN is shutting down again while AI is on the rise. You got wars escalating. You got governments pushing for digital ID. But I'm guessing none of this is ringing a bell, right? I need you to look at this statue that's in front of CERN. That's Shiva, the Lord of Destruction. Basically, he's a deity of transformative rebirth. Y'all let that sink in for a minute. The scary part isn't CERN shutting down. The scary part is what comes next.
What comes next? Who knows? I'm going to tell you, though, as we go on this deep dive, I'm curious what else he has to say. Let's just find out. And tell me
Correct
what
me
you
if I'm
think.
wrong. Matter of fact, I want you to prove me wrong. You now have people saying that since CERN shut down, time has been going much slower. Pattern recognition will either make you look crazy or make you early. And this CERN timeline is really starting to bother me because CERN shut down June 29th, 2026 on a strawberry moon all the way until 2030. Within days, you have people saying the exact same thing. The days feel slower. Something feels off. Now, maybe it's psychological. Maybe we just all feel like since CERN switched off that switch, things feel different. Matter of fact, look at this shit.
Before they turned this thing off, people were saying time was going very fast, which I would agree. And today was super, super long. Seemed like it took forever, and I was able to take a nap as well. And before that, I was having trouble taking naps, and I was having trouble sleeping and waking up super early at like 5 a.m. But now, since this particle collider has been turned off, I noticed that I've been able to sleep.
I just told you in another video, you got to remember, CERN fired up the Large Hadron Collider in 2008. Within that same year, Wall Street collapsed. The financial system almost broke. Also, in 2008 is the first time that we ever started talking about the Mandela effect. Then you fast forward to 2013. I need you to jump down that rabbit hole and see what happened. Numerous things happened, but one of the most recognizable things was what happened in Russia. That massive meteor that exploded right over Russia. This happened in 2013 when CERN shut down. And then we fast forward to 2018 into 2022. And we all know what happened through those years, right? Pandemic, lockdowns, chain chaos, economic meltdown. What I'm saying is, now that CERN is gone, what's going to happen? People are saying they can sleep now. People are saying that days are longer now. What do you think? I'm out. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. Correct me if it's wrong. Have you noticed the time has slowed down for you? Are you able to sleep better? I gotta tell you. Again, this is all speculative. This is all for fun and entertainment. None of this is serious or real. I'm just having fun. But I am curious. What do you think? I figure we'll go down one more rabbit hole, and then we'll have our discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, what this guy talks about kind of hits home. For some reason, we were out of our internet for over 3 weeks. It was crazy. And then when they finally got it back up, it was spotty. It's one of the reasons why I've not been able to do any videos. But guys, tell me, when you hear what he talks about, does this relate to you? Has this happened to you? Let's take a listen.
CERN is it's the world's largest LHC. And the last time they turned it off, well, that was 2020 and COVID happened. Now, I'm not saying it's related to that, but I'm also not saying that it's not. But I wasn't going to make a video on this until I did a little bit of detective work online for the past 24 hours. And I kept seeing a similar
detective work online, digging into it seems, finding out what he can find out. I'm so curious. I'm like on the edge of my seat right now, guys. Oh boy, let's see. Tell me about it, my man. Tell me about it.
similarity between people talking about something. So let me ask you a question. Has your Wi-Fi been acting really weird lately, or you just haven't had it at all? Have you been experiencing body pain, more specifically shoulder and back? Have you also been feeling like time is moving extremely quickly, yet everything during that time doesn't feel real? When I see thousands, we'll say thousands and thousands of people all talking about similar experiences and symptoms around the entire world, it kind of strikes a red flag in me, and I need to look into it. So I need to know, since CERN shut down yesterday and leading up to that, have you been experiencing any of that? Because I will tell you this, I've experienced all four.
Have you experienced those? Back pain, shoulder pain? Has your Wi-Fi been acting up? What about AI? It just seems like it's just blowing up right now, right, guys? I mean, in all honesty, when you take a look at these things, sometimes you got to come out of the dark. And you sometimes just have to keep looking till you find the light and you let it shine. See, we're dealing with unbelievable things that's taking place and happening around the world. So they're saying. I want to know, do you relate to it? Do you understand it? Do you experience it? Again, leave me comments down below. He brings up a good point. In this event that's taking place. CERN cuts off. As it cuts off, what's happened around the world? I didn't put it together till I heard what he says here. Let's take a listen.
This is random, and you know that. There's certainly been an aggressive amount of uncharacteristically massive earthquakes, all happening around the entire world at the exact same time, hasn't there? Almost like, I don't know, something is activating, something is waking up, something might potentially be making its way to the surface after 70 years of a treaty, perhaps. Now, I'm not saying I believe in hollow earth one way or the other, but I don't believe in coincidences. And for me to say something is ironic doesn't sit well because, well, I don't believe in irony. But isn't it ironic that a week prior to all these earthquakes happening all over the world at the same time, mind you, that all the pyramids around the entire world emitted a similar frequency, an electric pulse, if you will, and activated all at the same time? Coincidence? Conspiracy? Now, collectively, I think the majority of us know exactly what's happening, and the rest of the world will wake up to it soon. But I want to have this conversation because none of this is random, and you know that. None of this is random, and you know that. There's certainly been an aggressive...
So nothing is random, as he says. As I was looking into the thing of CERN, did you know there's a treaty with aliens? You mean the fallen angels? The Nephilim, the Raphaim? We'll dig more into this stuff on upcoming videos. But I want you to sit here and think for a second. There are earthquakes that's been happening everywhere. CERN cuts off on the 29th. And what immediately happens? I mean, this is the thing that just tickled my ears. It made me sit here and kind of perk up and say, wait a second. CERN cuts off. People are worried about it. They are associated with all these other events that could be absolutely a coincidence. And then we have these massive, massive earthquakes. I'll tell you, it's very interesting. It's very eye-opening. And it makes you sit and question what's going on in this world that is a plot of confusion. But I want you to understand that you do have a reassurance. Even though I sound like this is fun and games, it's not. I want to make that perfectly clear. I look at the world differently. And as I look at the world differently, I look at through the eyes of the scriptures. And when he was talking about the earthquakes and talking about CERN, and I cut the light on to come out of the darkness, it's interesting that Jesus Christ tells us in the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And I hope you don't stop the video here. I hope you listen to what I'm going to read as I come to a close on this very interesting topic. As Jesus was leaving the temple grounds, his disciples pointed out to him the various temple buildings. But he responded, "Do you see all these buildings? I'll tell you the truth. They will be completely demolished. Not one stone will be left on top of another." That actually happened in the 70 AD when the Romans destroyed the Temple of Jerusalem. And Jesus tells us that's going to happen. And it happened 70 years later. Jesus said on the Mount of Olives, his disciples came to him privately saying, "Tell us, when will all this happen?" In other words, when would all this take place? Because we're all interested in, is the world going to end? And Jesus came to them privately and said, "Tell us when all these things will happen, when the signs will signal your return and the end of the world." Jesus told them, "Don't let anyone mislead you. For many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, and they will deceive many." As happened. There's many people that claim that they are the Messiah, or they got some secret knowledge, got some golden disc, or one of the angels comes down and holds them and wrestles them in a cave till they come out with a type of new doctrine. So when Jesus says this, those things have happened. And they will deceive many, and you will hear of wars and threats of wars, but don't be panicked. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. Nation will go up again to war against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in many parts of the world. But all this is only the first of the birth pains, with more to come. Interesting. Then you will be arrested, persecuted, even alive. You will be hated all over the world because you are my followers, and many will turn away from me and betray and hate each other. We're seeing that in the world today. It's like love is just one of those things possibly the CERN has gotten rid of. Sin will be rampant, people everywhere, and the love of many will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. And the good news about the kingdom will be preached throughout the whole world so that all nations will hear it. And the end will come. The day is coming when you will see what Daniel the prophet spoke about, the sacrilege object, the curse of desolation, standing in the holy place. Reader, pay attention. Then those of Judea must flee to the hills. The person on the deck of the roof must not go down into the house to pack. A person out in the field must not return, even to get a coat. How terrible it will be for a pregnant woman on those days, nursing mothers in those days. And pray that your flight not be in winter on the Sabbath, for there will be a great anguish than at any time since the world began, and it will never be so great again. In fact, unless that time of plenty be shortened, not a single person will survive. But it will be shortened for the sake of God's chosen ones. Then, if anyone tells you, "Look, here's the Messiah there," don't believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will rise up and perform great signs and wonders so as to deceive, if possible, even God's chosen ones. See, I've warned you about these ahead of time. It's interesting that Jesus is saying this in the 24th chapter of the book of Matthew. If you look at how the world has been since his death and resurrection, everything he's saying is spot on. Don't we have a person that is a prophet that people follow, but yet the doctrine is not true? Isn't it that a lot of people are turned away from the faith to go and listen to fables? For as the lightning flashes in the east and shines to the west, so it will be when the Son of Man comes. Just as gathering of vultures show where the carcass nearby, so the signs indicate that the end is near. Immediately after the anguish of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will give no light. The stars will fall from the sky and the power of the heavens will be shaken. And then at last, the signs of the Son of Man is coming will appear in the heavens, and there will be deep mourning among all the people of the earth. And they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with the power of great glory. He will send out his angels with a mighty blast trumpet, and they will gather his chosen ones from all over the world, from the farthest ends of the earth to the heaven. Now, learn a lesson from the fig tree. When its branches bud, its leaves begin to sprout, you know that summer is near. The same way, when you see all these things, you can know this: his return is very near, right at the door. I tell you the truth, this generation will not pass from the scenes until all these things take place. Heaven and earth will disappear, but my words will never disappear. However, no one looks the day or the hour when these things will happen, not even angels of heaven or the Son himself. Only the Father knows. When the Son returns, it will be like in the days of Noah. In those days before the flood, people were enjoying banquets, parties, weddings, right up to the time Noah entered the boat. People didn't realize what was going to happen until the flood came and swept them all away. This is the way it will be when the Son of Man comes. Two men will work together in the field. One will be taken, the other left. Two women will be grinding flour in the mill. One will be taken, the other left. So you must keep watch, for you don't know what day your Lord is coming. Understand this: if a homeowner knew exactly when a burglar was coming, he would keep watch and not prevent his house to be broken into. You must be ready all the time, for the Son of Man will come. Least expect. A faithful servant is one of whom the master can give the responsibility of managing his own household, servants and feeding them. If the master returns and finds that the servant has done a good work, there will be a reward. I tell you the truth, the master will put that servant in charge of all he owns. But if that servant is evil, He thinks my master won't be back for a while, and he begins beating the other servants, partying, getting drunk. The master would return unannounced and unexpected, and he would cut that servant to pieces asunder and replace with the hypocrites in the place where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And those of you who don't know what led to the flood, I'll just read this to you quickly because it makes you wonder. CERN cutting off and all these earthquakes start happening. Makes you wonder, what did they do? Did they open up something they shouldn't have? And what was happening in the days of Noah? The people began to multiply on the earth, and the daughters were born to them, the sons of God, angels. Saw beautiful women, and they took any they wanted as their wives. And the Lord Yahweh said, my spirit will not put up with human for such a long time, for there are only mortal flesh. In the future, their normal lifespan will be no more than 120 years. In those days, and for some time after, giant Nephilites lived on the earth. For whenever the sons of God angels had intercourse with women, they gave birth to children who became the heroes and famous warriors of ancient times. Could all the things that Jesus said and talked about in the scriptures of 29 and reflected to Noah, could that be what happens next with CERN? Who knows? It's all speculative, entertainment purposes only. Let me know what you think about CERN. Until next time, pay attention to your surroundings because you never know what lies around the corner. God bless.